my gosh, differently, Rico. We've been saying from the first day, test, trace, isolate or quarantine and treat, plus now we're saying vaccinate. So kailangan kong sabihin, step up, no? The government's pandemic response, despite our country being the largest borrower of loans for COVID response, bakit tayo yung magiging pinakahuli sa region natin in terms of recovering our national health and as well the health of our economy? So it's a very painful situation we are in right now, Rico, and it's on the mind. Filipinos looking at a possible change next year. We have to focus on health. 2022 will be year 3 of the pandemic. We have to focus on the economy kasi nga we will still be within a few years at least of slow and very painful and, like I mentioned, laggard economic recovery. And I have to say, Rico, in this very hot season of formally corruption issues, I think top of mind of citizens will be corruption. Checking it, fiscalizing it, and eventually eliminating it. We intend to, Rico, at kami po ay nabubuhayan lalo ng loob, nagpapasalamat dun sa ating healthcare workers, health professionals for that stunning, unprecedented statement. I think everything has just piled up in the last 1.5 years. The sufferings on the health front, the sufferings on the economic front, again with a very poor economic pandemic response of our government, especially on behalf of poor families at yung ating mga MSMEs na yung ating mga doktor at iba pang health professional ay hindi na talaga napigilang magsalita, lalo na idagdag yung issue ng korupsyon sa gitna pa ng pandemya. So moving forward in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, our chairman, Sen Dick, begun to start drafting our committee report. More and more angles to this sordid story. Rico, more characters in this cast. I think we will have a very solid committee report, solid findings, and very strong recommendations of how to turn the tide in terms of our pandemic response, especially in the matters of our healthcare workers, in the matter of clean and not graft and corruption-laden expenditures of limited pandemic funds that should really be used to address the health and the economic crises facing our people. Well, I'm glad that Senate President, for one, has spoken up about that. We have only, but still, 8 months left in this 18th Congress. Alam naman natin, Rico, that our track record in the country in terms of electoral reform legislation would still certainly be added to. At isa na yan, yung posibleng pag-revisit, posibleng pag-amyenda ng probisyong iyan sa ating omnibus election code. Siyempre, importante rin, Rico, to continue trying to build a political party system here in the country. Kasunod nung mga naunang electoral reforms tulad ng party list law, yung election automation, yung overseas absentee vote. I think we could also work on additional electoral reforms like campaign finance reform, reforms to the political party system para talagang lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemya at papasok na naman tayo sa isang general election year, that not only the parties, not only the candidate, but citizens as well, all voters will be more enabled to focus on the issues that matter going into year 2022 na gaya ng binanggit ko nga kanina, palagay ko front and center talaga, kalusugan. Certainly hoping so, Rico. Pasado na siya on third and final reading in both the Senate and the House. In fact, we are beginning our bicameral conference committee meetings tomorrow. And like I mentioned earlier, may 8 buwan pa sa loob ng Kongreso. This is a bill that I think no one can quarrel with. Ano po, yung itaas yung napakababa nating age of consent. Ngayon, 12 lang. It's the lowest in our region, Rico. One of the lowest in the world. At itaas natin, palakasin ang proteksyon sa ating mga anak, sa ating mga bata laban sa statutory rape. In the interest of protecting the best interest of the child, fulfilling our obligations under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Children while continuing to recognize the evolving capacities of young people. Pwedeng pirmahan yan ni Presidente. At worst, he could let it lapse into law, pero hindi ko ma-imagine any scenario na i-veto nila ito. This is what the Senate calls a happy bill. Kami po sa minority at yung mga kasama namin sa majority united to support bill, and I believe it also had the widest support in the House.